Mickey Mantle, is that what you're upset about? Mickey Mantle makes $100,000 a year. How much does your father make?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, see if your father can't pay the rent. Go with Mickey Mantle, see what he tells you. Mickey Mantle don't care about you, so why should you care about him? Nobody cares.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Danny Shenad coming to you from Studio 64 that's on the road this evening. We are broadcasting to you live from the beautiful and friendly confines of Ralph's Sports Bar, 1571 Richmond Road, located right here in the heart of Staten Island. Ralph DeFury, the owner of this joint. Ralph, thanks for coming on Nobody Cares Live, brother.
It's a pleasure to see you, Dan. Thanks for inviting us to this.
It's a pleasure to be down here at Ralph's Sports Bar. I'm surprised you let me in. I know you let me in, but will you let the bookie in is the question after his questionable chicken wing reviews.
I'm still holding a grudge.
And as well you should. For many reasons, I feel that you've got the best wings on the island. And
so does Staten Island think that.
Yeah, I'm going to make Bookie hurt himself with your wings this evening. I gave the company card to Ariana, I believe is her name. And yeah, we're going to go wild. So Ralph, before we have our first guest on the show tonight, who is in fact John Boyle, principal IS-34 local legend, wanted to talk to you just for a moment about this great restaurant you have here for anybody that's never been here. Kind of fill people in as to what they're missing.
All right. So Ralph's Sports Bar, located 1571 Richmond Road, on the corner of Four Corners and Richmond Road. We're a community-driven restaurant that believes in supporting the community, first responders, schools, and a bunch of other nonprofit organizations. But our goal is to get people out here. It's a family-run place, and we believe in supporting them in a lot of different ways, sometimes financially and sometimes by putting up their shirts in the restaurant. And
you do a great job.
Thank you very much.
It's a local joint. You feel like home when you come in, and similar to like Applebee's, man, they got, this is like a real local restaurant, right? Because you've got the jerseys on the wall from all the different high schools and stuff. So you're doing it right in here, brother. I want you to stick around for a moment as we have our first guest of the evening. Two legends might as well be on the air together.
That's funny.
That's funny, he says. We're doing a broadcast this Friday from IS-34 in Tottenville. It is the middle school basketball championship. I don't know how large it is, if it's just for Staten Island or New York City. Who's playing? That's not me. You know me. I'm terrible at that. But a man that knows exactly what time it is John Boyle. John, welcome to the broadcast, brother. We appreciate you taking the time.
What's up, Dan? How's it going?
It's going well, man. What is that shirt? You got a Totten shirt?
I only wear Totten clothes, Dan. I don't,
That's great.
I like that.
That's all I got.
We got to get some Totten clothes because we wear anything the sponsors give us. We're like NASCAR drivers. We get a big event on Friday. The whole community is buzzing about it. And, I'm just that guy that's like, yeah, I'm broadcasting. I don't know. I'm happy to be there, but fill me in on the details, man. Who's playing and what is this event?
So we are hosting at IS-34 the New York City Middle School Basketball League Staten Island Championships. It's a quadruple header. So you're crazy for signing up for it, but it's going to be a great day.
Yeah,
we're hosting the JV Girls Championship, followed by the JV Boys Championship, and then the Varsity Girls, and then the finale will be the Varsity Boy Final. And it should be a great night. The teams are still playing to get in, so the semifinals are still taking place in a few places.
Right.
But today, our JV Girls 6th grade team and our JV Girls 7th grade team both won their semifinal game. And they're actually going to play each other in the Island Championship on Friday night. And then our varsity girls play tomorrow to get in.
Man, that is you're building rivalries not only in the community, but in your own hallways, John. I mean, that's
right.
how
Civil War time.
That's how talented the kids are at 34, that there's two championship teams in one school. That's unbelievable, man. And they have a saying down there at IS-34. What is it? Just another great day?
It's just another great day at IS-34. That's what we say.
That's a really good saying. I was afraid of my teachers when I was in school. John Boyle is the exact opposite of that, man.
You're not afraid of John?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you could be afraid.
No, you could. Yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid of him if I don't look him in the eye. He's like a pit bull, like off the leash, you know. But no, he's a great man. He does so much in the community, and of course, Nobody Cares involved. You know, we'll broadcast damn near anything. But when you said it was for the kids, there's no shot we weren't coming. The only issue I have, John, is that your gym in your building is on the, what is it, the 4th floor?
The 3rd floor. No, it's a hike up there. I mean, there's an elevator, but it's on the other side of the building. You took the stairs last time. You
My
definitely got your
grandmother
steps in.
passed away about 12 years ago, and I almost met her when I brought my equipment to the gym. I was like, and he said to me, why didn't you take the elevator? And I said, it's on the other side of the building. There's all this stuff going through my head. If I could do it all again, I definitely wouldn't take the stairs. So I'm coming really early on Friday to take the elevator. I'm telling you now.
And that's the way to do it. I haven't taken the stairs in 5 years. I'm done. I'm never again.
We put the elevator in so he didn't have to take stairs anymore. That's like what you do when you become, you know, affluent. You build your own home. No, put an elevator right inside the front door. John, we appreciate you. So Friday, 3:00, first game, 4 games in a row, a JV doubleheader, and then a varsity doubleheader.
Yep, and it's going to be, I think, well represented. You're going to have, right now, I told you the 2 teams from my school are already in. Hopefully one more team from my school gets in tomorrow. IS 61 is still alive. IS 27 is still alive. IS 24 just clinched their bid today. So there's going to be a good presence. Staten Island will be well represented. We're really excited about it. Gym should be packed, and
I'm excited about it, man. Bookie's going to be on camera. He's a terrible cameraman, but he's been getting a lot better. And the hospitality, their gym is unbelievable. They have like a skybox.
Wow.
Yeah,
We do.
that's not normal for a middle school gym.
That's great.
So
Congratulations, John. Good luck.
Yeah, man.
Thank you,
You're
Rob.
unbelievable, John. We'll be at the gym right and early on Friday. Excited to broadcast. You got 2 schools at least, and who knows, maybe more.
Yeah, no, we're hoping for 3. And are you doing our volleyball championship on Monday too?
Yes, we are absolutely broadcasting the volleyball championship on Monday.
So
as
we
well.
just clinched our bid last night for that. So our girls are playing in the varsity volleyball championship on Monday at Port Richmond. So we'll see you there for that as well. Hopefully I get a little airtime, Dan. I think it's my new calling.
I think for sure you have earned a spot in the Nobody Cares broadcast booth. That's either a highlight of your career or the very bottom. It
depends.
Seen, John. Totally depends. Plus the broadcast, you know, it all depends on the broadcast. But yeah, Friday we're doing middle school basketball championships, and Monday we're doing middle school volleyball championships. So we are getting into the middle schools, man.
That's it. You're gonna have that middle school all-stars coming out. I know you're doing high school tonight. We gotta get some middle school all-star names.
Yeah, I was just saying that. That's how it happens, John. Once you make one all-star list, people are like, you're gonna make another one from my league, right?
That's it. Got to do it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of hate mail coming tonight, John, but none for this segment whatsoever. The legend, John Boyle, we appreciate you coming on the show, brother.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to see you on Friday and on Monday. Ralph, have a great night. Ralph's place is a great place.
Thanks,
So
John.
make sure you check it out.
If you ever need any fundraising stuff, let us know. We would love to support.
Perfect. We love to fundraise.
All right.
Always.
Thanks, man.
Be
My
well,
pleasure.
brother.
Have a great night, guys.
Thank you.
That was a legendary John Boyle, IS 34 principal. Ray Palma tuning in. He says, big win for 34 in middle school basketball today. Shout out Coach King. I don't know who anybody is, so it's a good thing people like Ray Palma are on the team. They know people in the community. Ralph, you have a burger here at the restaurant called the Grand Slam Challenge. Tell me about it.
All right. So if you're adventurous enough, it's 4 hand-packed patties with 4 toppings. It comes with fries and onion rings as well. We get your picture on Instagram, and we put a picture up on the Wall of Fame if you are able to complete it.
If you're able to complete it. Now, when you first created this challenge, did you think a lot of people would be able to complete it? Because it seems like 1 in every 10 people that attempt the challenge actually beat it.
Yeah, I would love to think that I'm smart enough to know what the odds were going to be. I was way off, but we had a challenge about a year ago when we had a group together.
Yeah,
that was a lot of
flagship in
fun.
the gang.
Yeah, that was.
I had
that
my
was
money
pretty
on
cool.
somebody that completely shit the bed.
Yeah.
Didn't show up whatsoever.
My guy fell asleep.
Yeah. Tough sledding there. I'll never forgive him whatsoever. Speaking of odds, Ralph, tonight is darts night here at Ralph's Sports Bar.
Yeah.
What are the odds that either myself or Bookie will get hit with a dart errantly?
Well, the odds are much better for the Bookie to get hit. We like you, Dan. So
right. So I would say like 1 in 9 for him,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Those are
Probably.
pretty good odds. So we anticipate to be on the air up until about 8:30 tonight.
Very cool.
Moments away from going through our Staten Island High School Varsity All-Stars. That's what we're doing tonight, Ralph.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Great job.
Are you aware that I'm shaking you down for gift cards?
Yeah, I would.
Oh, you
imagine
are
so.
aware.
No,
Oh,
I'm not.
no, you're
but
not.
I would
Oh, yeah.
imagine.
No, I figure it's good to put you live on the spot and tell you that I'm shaking you
Have
down.
I ever
for gift
said no?
cards. No, well, it would be tough to say no in this particular
Right,
situation.
well, I'm kicking you under the table. But it's
Right.
all
Well,
good.
you don't have to give all of them, but we have a lot of winners tonight because the gang just kind of went out of control with it. And I say the gang, nobody cares Sports Network guys. As we're picking these players, we have first team All-Stars and second team All-Stars. Now that's 10 players for the boys and the girls, 20 players. All right.
Right.
Then we added 6 players from the boys and the girls
Very
as
nice.
players to watch. Like coming up in the future, these are going to be the players that we want to keep our eye out on. That is 32 kids. Now, obviously, my staff is trying to bankrupt me with gift cards, right? Because they just think I could just go out and buy all these gift cards. So all you got to do is give a couple, and that's what all the area
We
businesses
definitely
are
will.
doing.
More than a couple. We'll take care of it.
We don't have NIL deals, right? The kids don't get any money from us, but they get gift cards to places like Ralph's Sports Bar. Our sponsors, of course, Jay's on the Bay getting down, Jimmy
That's
Max
great.
giving in. So
Yeah, that's great.
you're on that proud list of sponsors. my
Thank
brother.
you very much. It'd be our pleasure to support.
Now, before you jump off, St. Patrick's Day this
Right.
Sunday. I know you're a big Italian guy, but they have a saying, Ralph, that on St. Patrick's Day everybody's Irish, and I believe that to be true.
Right.
And so I speak on behalf of the Irish when I say you're honorary on Sunday. And what do you have planned here?
So for that day, I'll do my best to be a proud Irishman. We have 2 bands. We have close to 300 pounds of corned beef that we're
300 pounds of corned beef?
prepared in a bunch of different ways.
Are you cooking that now? How does that work?
No. We're gonna our first batch because we're gonna be having it prepared for Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
Our first batch will be prepared on Friday night.
All
We
right.
slow cook it
With beer or anything
overnight.
like that?
Yeah. Dark beer.
Dark beer.
It's beautiful.
You're not going to tell me the beer. I got you.
No. But we cook it in a dark beer overnight, and then the following day, for Saturday night, we'll cook the 200 pounds on that night. And we make it a couple of ways. And you mentioned I'm Italian, so I do have an Italian corned beef sandwich there as well.
What's mozzarella?
Yeah. Fresh homemade mozzarella that
All
we
right.
make here
Okay.
on a nice crusty
Like wet mutts kind of
bread.
deal?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, it's really, really good.
My
But, I
God.
mean,
You
don't get
started
me
to
wrong.
sweat as you
Yeah,
started
yeah,
to
yeah.
explain that sandwich. to me.
It's excellent. And besides our corned beef platter, we're going to do a pizza with corned beef. We're going to be doing a Reuben, and we're going to be doing
I'm
a
sweating.
baked stuffed potato with a bunch of different stuff.
You got a couple
And
of
corned
bands
beef
on
is in
stage
there.
and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're
American
rocking out.
Cover Story,
What time
Mixtape Diary.
do these
The fun
shenanigans start?
starts at 1 and it goes all day.
Boy, I
Yeah,
tell you, I love my family, but I have a sneaking suspicion I will not be around them on Sunday because I'll be here at Ralph's Sports Bar.
I am hopeful that you will.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
absolutely, man. Just save me some of those green glasses that you used in your Instagram
That
video.
commercial went great. We got,
that commercial was absolutely phenomenal.
Several thousand views, which
Um,
we're really excited.
Like I always say, dress like an Irishman. It goes a long way.
Right.
It's almost golf season, Ralph. Are you a big golfer?
Not really.
Yeah, it's frustrating out there on the links. I'll be honest
I'm
with
terrible.
you. It's just it's,
Terrible.
you gotta appreciate like it's a nice day, but
Yeah.
if it's not a nice day, like what are you doing?
Right.
Just go home.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, I'd like to have me, you, and the Bookie out on the golf course. I think that'd be fun. We
I
got to
think that
find a
would be
fourth
fun, too.
person. Yeah, absolutely. Ralph Tafuri, the proprietor of Ralph's Sports Bar, come on down, say what's up to him. Does a lot for the community. We appreciate you coming on the show,
It's
brother.
always a pleasure. Thanks.
Yeah, man, no doubt.
All right.
Speaking of golf, here's a fun clip. Back in a moment with our buddy Doug Elwell.
Look, I'm standing.
You like that? Holy shit! Go back to work.
That house is like 400 yards away.
Is that good?
That's unbelievable.
Beginner's luck.
$20 says you can't do it again.
Bring it on.
You boys are gonna pay for that. You hit that guy.
He shouldn't have been standing there.
One more time. Double or nothing.
You better pay up.
Welcome back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. We are just going to continue to play movie clips until we get sued. Nobody cares. Some feel-good stories floating around town before we get into our high school all-stars. Speaking of feel-good stories of the year, Patrides basketball, as well as CSI McCown basketball and St. Joseph by the Sea hockey. These are three teams that have seemingly come out of nowhere this year. Patrides was led by a stellar front, as well as great coaching across the board with CSI McCown basketball. We're going to have head coach Danny Lee on the broadcast tonight to talk about his success that he found this year with some new players entering the fray, as well as St. Joseph by the Sea hockey. Nobody cares about hockey in this town, but this team 2 years ago had 0 wins, and this year they competed and came up just a bit short in the New York City championship game. So St. Joseph by the Sea and hockey, a team to look out for. As well, Wagner College. That's right. Wagner College is playing tonight in the NEC Championship against Merrimack. That game is on ESPN2. And right now, it is deadlocked in a tie at 6 points apiece. And this game, of course, on the road, as the Wagner Seahawks are the 6th seed in the conference tournament. Joining us on the broadcast now, legend here in the Staten Island community. We definitely cannot afford him, and he will not be getting paid for his appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Coach Doug Elwell. What up, Dougie?
What up, Dan? Little Seahawk action right now.
I see that. Anybody's game right now, Dougie. 6-6. The Wagner's got a chance to go to the dance, buddy.
That's why I was a little late to the party here. Just got halftime. 29-25. Wagner's up right now.
29. What kind of service is in this place? 6-6, 29-25. I missed half the game.
Yeah, 29-25. Wagner's up by 4 at half. So
is the service on the show good? Can you see me? Can you see that they're playing darts behind me, throwing projectiles?
I can see all of you, Dan. I'm all
That's
good.
Awesome. Yeah. Ralph said I looked skinny.
You do. Looks good, man.
Yeah. Well, you can't eat because you're a hostage at local sports. Tonight, Doug, we are going to be unveiling the Nobody Cares Sports Network Staten Island High School All-Stars. This is for the boys and the girls. We're going to start off with the girls tonight first, and we're also going to break this down into 3 different categories. Our first is players to watch, in that they had a tremendous year where they showed up on a lot of people's radars. But given the talent that exists for the other 10 slots, they just didn't make that cut this year for us anyway.
And I think, Dan, also the players to watch that we're referring to are players that people may not know about this year, that they will know about next year, that may have a big jump from their roles this year compared to next year, and you may see them elevated a little bit more, and you may see them in those first or second teams next year due to their play and due to situations and circumstance. So definitely really excited to talk about all these players tonight. And listen, boys and girls this year, Island was very successful. And Dan, I always try to show or say, success for Staten Islanders is not made on Staten Island. It's whatever you do off of the island as well. Because, we're in our bubble, our bubble's great, but we've had some really good talent that we've been having over the last couple of years that's been able to go outside of Staten Island and compete at a very high level. So shout out to everyone that's been doing that and, making sure that this is what the basketball scene is becoming on Staten Island. So shout everyone out for sure.
Oh, no, we have, as I would say, 10 players for the girls, followed by 6 of them are next up players to watch. But the way that we put these teams together tonight, people often talk about how you'll have teams like, in the NBA, how they pick teams, right? Is it captains? Are they picking their friends kind of deal? The way we did it was like if we were going to play basketball in somebody's driveway and we wanted to win the game, who's playing based on the best players available, right? Like you're picking them out of the lot, like old school basketball. Yep. And we were just looking at it. Give me 2 guards, give me 2 forwards, and give me a center, right?
Yep.
And so there's a lot of players out there that play different positions, but that's we just tried to keep it as simple as possible. So
yeah, and also not even just based on the skill level of some of these players. I also went off of and I think we all agree that the competitive drives, the intangibles, the winning. A lot of that stuff had to do with a lot of the things that we took into consideration for this as well. And that's why some of those next up players maybe could have been on the second team. But we want to see next year what they're going to bring to the table and try to improve their team as well as, themselves. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let's just get into it. As we've got Danny Lee in the building, and I see Mikey Stats, I believe, from Wagner High School also in the house. So we've got some people in here for darts night at Ralph's Sports Bar. So here we go. Here are girls players to watch. And for C, we've got Cordova and Lanza making it into players to watch. Barbado from Moore Catholic. We've got Felsey as well from Moore Catholic. O'Connell out of C and Decio from Newdorp. Dougie, talk to me about it.
Yeah, so, these 6 girls throughout the year showed that they are steady basketball players. The Cordova, Lanza, and O'Connell, they had great years at C. They had a lot of they were more role players for C this year. And I think next year with some people graduating, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, I think that they're going to have a lot of elevated roles at C. And then Barbado and Felsey at Moore Catholic, 2 sophomores who we're going to see a lot of over the next few years. Barbados had some really good, strong games where she's had some really great points. She's had some really good games where she fills the stat sheets up. Mackenzie Felsey is going to be a great basketball player. Also a sophomore. She's a big girl. Her footwork is very, very good for her size and her age. And then we have Sabrina Decio, who definitely could have been a second team player this year. Just recently had a huge game in the city playoffs for Newdorp, where she scored 31 points in the first half, Dan, of a game. So she's only a junior as well. So there's going to be a lot of girls next year that we're going to know the names of, but they're also going to be these surprises that maybe will jump up next year with their elevated roles and their improvement over the summer. And, we're going to see some good basketball next year again from the girls, as always.
Who you're just going to see jumping onto the broadcast right now. Absolutely zero security in this place. Danny Lee came right on, stormed in like Wu-Tang.
What's up, Coach? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man.
Halftime for your Seahawks right now, right, Todd?
Yeah. No, up 4 at half.
Oh, 4 at the half? Nice.
I don't understand why mine didn't update. Oh, there you go.
29-25.
29-25. All right. That's a better stat line. All right, Dougie. So we just did girls players to watch. Danny Lee joining the show. He's going to I want you to rip us apart a little bit as we go through the boys and let us know what we did wrong. Like, don't hold back because people out there definitely don't want you to. As we get into the girls Second team All-Stars. We've got Ditto out of Notre Dame Academy, Rodriguez from Hill, Jay Felsey. Was that Jordan Felsey?
Jordan Felsey, yes.
Jordan Felsey out of Moore Catholic, Molly Keene out of Hill, and Carilli out of Moore. So a couple of schools being present here on this list, Dougie, but some real ballers here that could have made first team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Juliana Ditto, Juliana Rodriguez, great guards for both Notre Dame and Hill, who had a fantastic year this year in the Catholic League A. Jordan Felsey, who obviously people may know more for her softball skills, who's going to Wisconsin next year to play softball. But she's had some monster games this year for Moore, and her and Bree Carilli, who was the other girl there on Moore's team, they gave a really nice 1-2 punch of senior leadership from Jordan and some junior excitement from Bree, who's going to have another great year next year, I'm assuming. And then always steady Molly Keene from Hill, who had a fantastic year also, junior. So a lot of these girls, Dan, some of them are seniors, some of them are juniors, and some of the girls that we saw on the next up list are sophomores. So we're going to have a really large group of girls that the next few years are going to be really taking Staten Island to another level where, we've already been, but we're going to keep it at that level, which is nice.
We always talk about how girls basketball is on the rise, but you could really see it when you look at these list of names, especially we're one of the rare, I guess, broadcasting networks out there that is so spread out in so many sports that we've actually seen these kids play at one point or another in the last 3 months. So we can kind of know what we're talking about here. But certainly we're going to get some hate mail as we move into our first team All-Stars for the ladies.
I mean, I don't think that this should surprise anybody with these 5 names. Danielle Williamson, who was headed to Marist College next year, Angeline, and she was named CHSAA MVP of the tier with that they're in. Angelina Hodgins, who just won the Jakes Award, who has a plethora of Division I offers. Jordana Schrecker, who is a fantastic player at Newdorp, who helped them become one of the top 3 seeds in the PSAL top division. She just committed recently to Sacred Heart University, another Division I player. And then you have Sabrina Craker, who today, congratulations to Sabrina, she was awarded the Joan Gum Award for the Joan Gum Award, which is a very prestigious award on Staten Island. She was awarded that today. Sabrina Craker had a fantastic year for Notre Dame and was kind of their engine that made them go. And then finally, Tara Murphy, the center for Hill, who was able to step out and knock down threes. And she, again, was also the CHSAA MVP of their division. So you got 2 MVPs of their division. You got a Jakes Award winner. You got a Jordana, who is just recently committed to a Division I school, and then finally you got Sabrina Craker, who just got the Joan Gum Award today. So a lot of firepower on that first team, and they made our island proud this year. So shout out to those girls, and thank you for repping us and giving us a great name. And shout out again, Jordana, Angelina. They're both juniors. So we're gonna see them again next year. And thank you to Danielle, Sabrina, and Tara, who are all seniors going off to college next year. So really excited to watch their path that they go. So excitement.
I'm about to get hit in the face with a dart, no doubt. No doubt.
Opening night for darts.
I feel like it's opening night for darts here. It's a big night. We should be streaming darts. Dougie, we've got Danny Lee in studio as we've just wrapped up the girls All-Stars for Nobody Cares. These winners will be receiving a gift card to a local Staten Island business as well as a Nobody Cares t-shirt. So we're going to have to get there.
And Dan, again, we want to also, mention again that there was so much talent on Staten Island this year in boys and girls. So, to come up with 15 names would have been impossible. So just the 10 and the next up list of young girls that are coming up to be varsity.
They're all so deserving. Like there's so many players.
100%. Listen, there's so many teams, there's so many players, and I don't envy any of the advanced people that have over the years have done advanced all-stars and things like that.
100%.
It's impossible.
No way.
It's really impossible. There's always going to be someone left out, and again, we're watching, we're seeing what we see, and from our standpoint, and some other people that we've spoken to, this is kind of, those 5 girls, the tier 1, team 1-5, they had phenomenal years all around. So the team 2 and next up, that could have went any way. But shout out to those 16 girls that we just mentioned, because they're helping continue the success.
Dougie Wagner, Seahawks up 4 early in the second half. Hold on to the edge of your seats.
Yeah, I got them up.
Partying up on Howard Avenue tonight.
I got them up 6 now, 33-27. So
up 6. All right, Dougie's got better internet than I do. Thanks for putting me on blast here on live TV. Dougie, we're here with Danny Lee. Before we get into the boys All-Stars, I wanted to touch base with Danny on a tremendous season that he had. As I mentioned, there was a holy trinity of 3 tremendously feel-good stories to come out of this winter season. One was the St. Joseph C hockey team, who went from worst team in the league to playing in the city championship. The other was Patrides basketball, who had an unbelievable season as well, and CSI McCown. And I think when you look at Staten Island sports and you think of like prototypical programs that are often talked about as highlights at the end of the year, those 3 schools in those 3 sports really don't normally pop off the page to people. And Danny, I just wanted to say, we could get you on the show tonight because we know you. The other guys we're going to have to get on the show for sure, but heck of a season for you, pal.
I appreciate it. Dan, Doug, you guys do a tremendous job for Staten Island. Nick Lazzoli's a good friend of mine, so I'll give him a big shout out right now. Patrides had their best season of all time. They won 18 games. They won the division, the AAA division, tied with Port Richmond, but they swept Port Richmond, so they won the division. And like you said, that's just an unbelievable story on Staten Island this year. I think they might only won 4 or 5 games last year, so to win 14 more games, a turnaround like that is amazing. For us, we've been on a nice 3-year stretch here now. We've made the city playoffs 3 years in a row. 3rd year that we've had double-digit wins, back-to-back years of 15.
Right.
And I had 8 seniors, so it was a good group of kids that, they grinded, they worked hard, but they trusted each other, and we were able to win a lot of close games. And senior leadership does that. So, I think I looked today, there were 11 games that were decided by 6 or less points in the season. We won 9 of them. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's a testament right there.
Yeah,
right?
that comes down to the senior leadership. Keegan Beluha was our captain, point guard. Obviously, having the guy 25, Othman, who could score a little bit, he's not bad. That helps. But they really came together as a team, and we started out 1-6 in the PSAL. We didn't have a good start to the season. We were 5-9 at the break. And then we ended up.
You guys just got hot.
We got hot in January,
right?
and stayed hot in January. Coming out of the break, we beat Port Richmond and Patrides back to back, who were in first place of the division. So that really propelled us the rest of the way. And obviously, the win over Port in the playoffs to get us to the quarterfinals for the first time in school history was big.
I love every second of it, Danny. And that is why we have you on the show tonight, because not only are you a certified head coach here in the community, but you're also a basketball head.
Yeah, I'm a basketball junkie. Yeah,
when it comes to the boys basketball league, you've got lists in your head where you could say, I'm making my own team, and this guy's coming to play with me. It's my junkyard basketball. If you disagree with anything, by all means, tee off. But if not, as Dougie knows, nobody cares. So let's get into it. Get your hate mail going.
All right, I'm ready.
Get your popcorn. Here are your boys players to watch on the radar. We've got DeGrotto out of Moore Catholic, Spencer from MSIT, Stolfo from C. We've got Archibald as a player to watch on Curtis.
Big time.
Britton and Talib Martin from St. Peter's Eagles.
Well, Britton from Monsignor Farrell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Britton from Farrell.
And then Talib Martin from St. Peter's. So that's a good list. So this is the list of players to watch coming up for next season.
Correct.
I agree with all those selections. I mean, Nicky DeGrotto had a great year as a sophomore point guard for Moore Catholic.
Doug, I'm going to break your legs. You told me that kid played for St. Peter's. Do you have any idea how much hate mail I'm about to get?
I made that mistake.
Doug just left. What happened?
I'm
Yeah,
back.
he's still at Farrell. I don't know. You never know with Coach Woods over there. I mean, what he can do.
Okay, here we go. Now we're really gonna
Woods.
get into
You know,
it.
I had to throw one in on Woods.
Heavens,
I love
here
it.
we go.
But
all right.
but Britton's still at Farrell.
All right, Britton's at Farrell. All right,
yeah.
so I'll bring it up, but in lieu of hate mail, the boys' players to watch. Britton's at Farrell for the love of heaven.
Big 6'6", 6'7", good skill set.
Yeah.
Talib was a freshman on the varsity this year. Obviously in the long line of great Martin players. Stolfo, really good player, could shoot the ball well from St. Joe's by the Sea. He was a junior. He'll be a senior. Tyree Spencer Scotty McCormick had a great year for MSIT. I would say Tyree Spencer's their most talented player.
Yeah.
And then obviously Archibald, he had 40 points in the playoff game, averaged 20 points and probably 10 or 11 rebounds in the 4A division.
Yeah.
I know they didn't have win-loss success, but he had success playing in that division.
And Doug can tell you this. He's a player that a lot of people can say could be a first-team or second-team player easily. We just looked at it like there's so much talent out there on the varsity squads across the island, and he's young. He's going to be a dominant player junior and senior year, and that's why we said that, well, this is really a perfect player to have on a radar, is what we thought.
Yeah, for sure. I expect Curtis to have a bounce back year in terms of, record wise, but obviously if his younger brother Ian goes there, they do have some talent in the stable there on the JV. So, you got to expect Curtis to bounce back.
Yeah. And I think Alonzo had a great year. And I think that, when it comes down to, the elevation of his game, I think he's going to be even better next year. So that's why I put him on the next up watched list, because I feel like next year he's going to have even more of a breakout year than he had this year, because even though he played well this year and had some good games and point wise, I think next year he'll be more efficient. I think next year he'll take that leadership role and lead his team to wins that they didn't get this year because of his leadership. Yeah. So I think that's definitely something. And I think one of the kids that did not get talked enough about this year enough is what Danny just talked about with Nick DeGrotto. DeGrotto had a fantastic year for Moore as only a sophomore. And he's one of those, and Coach Lee knows this from, coaching against him our whole lives, it feels like. But Coach Burns gets the most out of guys that some people can't. And Coach Burns is going to be all over DeGrotto for the next 2 years to make sure that he's developing and he's learning the skills that he needs to learn, but also on the toughness level. A lot of these kids that are being coached are not as tough anymore. And Coach Burns, he's going to put that toughness in you. And he played against some talented guards this year in the Catholic League. Between all the guards from Peters and Johnny Driscoll from Farrell and Nicola Napolitano from C. So there was so many great guards in the Catholic League, and to Nick to stand out with those group of guys just speaks about how great he's going to be moving forward. And obviously what Danny's mentioned about Talib's going to go up next year just because his minutes alone are going to go up. They have so many seniors that are graduating that he's going to be stepping into, that role now as the man there with, MJ Ford and Clancy, Aiden Schmidt, all those guys, Salou, they're all going to be back next year. So there's going to be a reload at Peters, and Talib is going to be the middle piece of that. And Tyree had a great year again this year for McKee, maybe not as spoken about either. There's so many guys that this year that we were impressed with, but next year I think that these guys are going to take even a bigger step. Moving forward.
We got to get into our second team.
Let's do it, because
someone's about to throw a dart through my face and kick out my camera in a heartbeat. Mikey Stats is nowhere to be found to help out. Probably got a beer. Boys, second team. That's it.
Let's do it.
These kids better be going to these schools, Doug, or you're dead.
You got them all right, Dan.
We're good.
We got them right.
Well, you got the schools right. Let's see if you got those.
Yeah. All right, so the second team All-Stars out of Nobody Cares, players that are going to receive a gift card to a area business, a T-shirt from Nobody Cares. It's Lewis Yin from Susan Wagner, Munson from St. Peter's, Steele from Petrides making the list. Monroe out of St. Peter's, and Vakai is a two-sport athlete as well for Moore Catholic. And with this list, it was almost like St. Peter's is so deep that you're just finding St. Peter's players on players to watch, second team All-Stars, first team. Like, they are stacked, right? And that's a testament to Coach Woodsy and everything that he's doing with his program. I am a big fan of Vakai out of Moore. A lot of energy. One of my more favorite players to cover in all the broadcasting, and certainly a program that doesn't get as much hype as the other, games that we cover. Lewison out of Susan Wagner, he's made a lot of noise not only this season but last season as well. I know that's a name we've called a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Lewison's only a junior, so we can easily see him on the first team next year as well. But shout out, the other 4 guys are all seniors, 4-year players, guys that busted their butt for the last 4 years to make themselves known on the island and even in the city, especially the kid Steele from Petrides. So shout out to him.
Yeah. Well, listen, Dougie, I got to know what Danny Lee thinks of this list.
Oh, well, first of all, I'll go with Steele because we were talking about Petrides' great season, and they had 2 players who broke the 1,000-point barrier this year. Jaden Allison, along with Charles Steele, who got it in the PSAL playoffs towards the end of the season. They also had Shadrick, who probably led Staten Island in rebounding. So they had 3 big-time players. Steele was their most important player, point guard. Everything kind of ran through him. So I would agree. I think he deserves to be an all-tournament, all-league player. Lewison, quick guard, great guard. Again, they're playing in that 4A division. They had some success there. They beat Eagle Brooklyn. They beat Jefferson. They had some big wins. Abu's probably the best all-around athlete maybe we have in the Staten Island League. I mean, he's going Division I in football and just started playing football this year. So that just tells you. I mean, I know he was a soccer player too. He's just a phenomenal
freak athlete.
Freak athlete.
Yeah.
So
he's the sweetest mom in the world. He's got a great family. They all come out and supported the games. He's easy guy to love.
And a good basketball player on top of it too.
Yeah.
And who was left? Well, the 2 Peters guys. Like I watched Peters a lot this year, and Monroe, to me, there were stretches where I thought he was the best Peters player on the floor in games. Like he had a really good season.
Yeah.
So I think he deserves that credit. He worked really hard in the offseason, was good. Munson's, everybody has known Munson for years now. When he was at Curtis for a couple of years, then at Peters the last 2 years. Good guard, gamer, tough. And I think Doug could attest to it. He saw more CHSA games, but Munson played really well in those CHSA games when they go across the water and they're playing those AA teams.
No doubt.
Yeah. So some of those games that some of the games that I watched against them, against St. Francis Prep or Christ the King and schools like that, arguably, like you said, Danny, Monroe might have been some of their better players in some of those games. And you even have Munson step in those games having, points in the teens, maybe the 20s. And Monroe also, people don't talk about this a lot because it's Staten Island. We always care about points. But Monroe always got the assignment of the best player in their team that they played against, no matter who it was, no matter what school it was. Whether it was Christ the King,
right? Yeah, he did a lot this year. I mean, he was like, even more than a glue guy because he's talented too. But if they needed a big shot, he hit it. If they needed to get a stop, he would get it. Like he's a really good player, really underrated player.
He's gonna make some college coach really happy next year.
What?
For sure.
I'm telling you, if we ever get this driveway basketball game done, he's gonna make one of us happy as coaches.
Well, me and Doug are squaring off next Friday night in a basketball game. I don't know if he wants to talk about that.
Wow.
I don't want to.
You never know when shots are going to be fired here. All right, he doesn't want to get into it. How about this? How about we unveil the boys' first team All-Stars? For Staten Island, send all your hate mail to the Bookie. Our backcourt consists of Lamb from Tottenville and Spisto from St. Peter's. Yusef Othman from CSI McCown making the first team, as well as Makai Jackson out of Susan Wagner and Martin from St. Peter's, the Jakes Award winner. Surprise there. Doug, I'll start with you. Give me 1 minute on why you feel this is flawless.
I think that these 5 players, again, off the island, on the island, proved that they could take their team, lead their team, be game changers in their teams. Obviously, we all saw Nick Lamb and his tear through the Staten Island High School League tournament, which was shocking to me as well. So, he raised some eyebrows, even including mine. Mike Spitzo, the Zabrowski Award winner, but also the engine behind St. Peter's offensive schemes and defensive schemes. Irreplaceable player on the court. Yusef Othman, who was Staten Island's leading scorer, had some really monster games this year. And Coach Lee obviously can talk about how he impressed people off the island as well. But if it's not for Yusuf, half the games that CSI plays in, they don't have a chance of winning, let alone winning. So that was impressive. And then, Jackson and Martin, those two guys played in the top division in New York State between the PSAL and the Catholic League. And they were actually in most games dominant. Mekhi Jackson had a few 20-20 games. We had 20 points, 20 rebounds. And Kadir Martin changes the game defensively, offensively. You have to game plan for him defensively. So there's a lot of those guys that, we're kind of lucky to have, that we don't realize how lucky we are to have them playing on our island and seeing what they can do.
Your 1 minute is up. I'm not sure I even listen. I think I just go 60, 59.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You went like 8 seconds. Danny, were you listening?
I was listening the whole time.
Awesome. Response.
Doug hit a lot of
he hit
great
them
points.
all? All right.
No, he hit a lot of great points. I mean, listen, it's tough to, 5 guys, anytime picking an old league team is tough. But Kadir, back-to-back Jake's Awards, no-brainer, obviously.
Right.
Defensively, just dominant. Lamb, I'm happy that he's a senior because he's beaten us up a lot. Like, they're a rival of ours, and we played them a lot over the last 3 years that he's been there. Tough kid, leadership. Obviously, it was on display in the Staten Island High School League tournament, bringing them to the final. Michael's a floor general, 3-year starter at the point guard at St. Peter's. There's not many guys that could say that. He makes everything go. Defensive, ball pressure, 94 feet. Mekhi's a beast. I mean, monster.
That's why I was like, he has to be on my first team because he was just on the court. He played much bigger and differently than the other players.
I felt when he was at his best, Wagner was at their best.
Yeah.
So like when the ball went in through him, then they were just, especially on Staten Island.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were a dominant team, and he had a great season. And then obviously Yusuf, I could speak forever, but like the one thing I will say about him, and Doug had mentioned it quickly, is he was double teamed for 3 months, because and I used to tell all the other guys, like, they're kind of not respecting you. So we need guys to step up, make shots, reverse the ball, do things of that nature. And Yusuf was never selfish either. Like he never forced a shot over 2 or 3 guys. He always made the right play. And to still score 29 points.
Sorry to cut you off, Dan, but when we had that game in the quarterfinals, when you guys played C, he was being face guarded. Coach Cortez did a fantastic job game planning for that. But I thought he maybe forced a couple of shots, but other than that, he saw the floor. He was making sure he made the right passes. His teammates were open. He was getting them involved. And he was getting frustrated because they were not able to have a game that they needed to have in that situation. But you saw it from that game right there how important he is to your team.
Yeah, and nobody even really brings up the defensive and rebounding side because he averaged about 13 rebounds a game for us. Well, like I said, Doug, that was a bad game for us that night. That was his lowest scoring game of the year, 18 points. So just think about it. If you average 18 points a game in high school, you're a phenomenal scorer in high school. That was his low game of the year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
That is it. So, all right, those are our lists. They're officially out. Nobody cares, by the way, about our list, but you did mention, Danny, that you are a West Brighton guy, and as we mentioned, there are gift cards involved. So as you being a part of our feel-good story of the year, there are 3 feel-good stories this year. We got to give gift cards to you, the coach of Petrides, and the coach of the C hockey team. So
I appreciate
because
that,
you're
Dan.
a West Brighton guy, we got you a gift card to Kettle Black.
And I want to say, obviously, Tyler Lee is the most talented broadcaster in my family. So next time I expect to bring him here. Because I rewatched the game. He did a great job with you guys.
Dan, he's the most talented commentator that nobody cares sports at.
We can't afford your son, bro. He's not even your son. He's Tyler. He's his own human being.
Dan, did you hear what your wife said when she walked in the gym past us?
Yeah, I rewatched the game. Unfortunately,
she did not say that. Hey, I'm Danny Lee's wife. She said I'm Tyler's mom.
Yeah,
and that's all she had to say. And I said, listen, I know who you are, but just hearing that you described yourself as Tyler's mom rather than Danny Lee's wife, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm third in the totem pole. Tyler and Dylan come before me. That's cool. I'm all right with it. She wanted me to bring a contract for you to sign for
a contract.
I said I don't know what Dan's.
Easy.
I gotta give it to my notary.
Oh, he's in the back there.
That's the bookies over there reading Asian news. Gentlemen, I appreciate you coming on. Try the wings here. They're fantastic. Danny Lee, hell of a season. Doug Elwell, prepare for hate now. I appreciate both of you gentlemen very much.
And shout out Wagner. They're up by 1 right now. 9 minutes left. Gonna go watch it.
Come on, bring it home.
Shout out Wagner. That's what I'm talking about. All
See you
right,
later, boys.
Danny
All right.
Lee, Doug Elwell on
Thank
the
you, Dan.
show. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Bookie's joining us with the Commodore. Nobody cares.
Fact is, he's the sponsor. And you signed a contract guaranteeing him certain concessions, one of them being a spot on the show.
Well, that's where I see things just a little differently. Contract or no, I will not bow to any sponsor.
Sorry you feel that way, but basically it's the nature of the beast.
Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but for me, the beast doesn't include selling out. Garth, you know what I'm talking about, right?
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
I can't talk about it anymore. It's giving me a headache.
Here, take 2 of these.
Ah, new print. Little, yellow, different.
Look, you can stay here in the big leagues and play by the rules, or you can go back to the farm club in Aurora. It's your choice.
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
Kind of crowded.
Welcome. Yeah, it's crowded in here. Bookie's joining the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Let me adjust this here. It says with Danny Lee. No, we're with the Bookie. Bookie, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me for tonight.
Of course, it's our pleasure, Bookie. Welcome to the broadcast. You've been pounding wings the entire night, so you might as well just continue pounding them here live on the air.
For all weeks.
Enjoy. We need another review out of you. Commodore, welcome to the broadcast, sir.
Boom. How you doing up there in the Northeast?
Man, we're doing very well. It's dart night here at Ralph's Sports Bar.
I hear that.
We're probably going to get struck in the head. It's not like 19th hole darts, though. These people are in like the World Series of darts. So they hit their target. We're really not going to get hit, I don't
We're
think.
not ready for that yet. Okay.
Rest in peace, Stevie Galante.
Yeah.
19th hole.
Commodore, we want to talk
Yeah,
to you
bro.
tonight about spring sports that are upcoming. We've delved into this once before, but we all know that this network is not going to last long, right? We understand that. It will one day either go under or
Here's my paycheck.
in the middle of the night, like the Baltimore Colts. But until that happens,
Well, Baltimore Colts. I thought you said about Indianapolis Colts. One day we're going to move, relocate it.
yes, I'll tell you. I'll send you a message. I'll let you know. So the point I'm trying to make here is we need some get-rich-quick schemes, and one of them is Commodore. You can tell us right now: is there Chinese food in Florida?
There's something they call Chinese food, but it's
Right.
not Chinese food.
Okay, stop right there. There's something they call Chinese food in Florida, but it's not Chinese food. Okay, so
Right. And you can't open a place and call it New York Chinese food.
no, we would
because
never do
that's
that. But we want to bring New
but-
York Chinese
terrible.
food.
But they can bring the New York style pizzas in Florida.
Yes,
No.
Bookie. And another thing that I
No.
want to bring up here with Bookie, Commodores, stop it. Bookie.
Can't do that either.
Okay, Bookie.
What do you got there?
Here, I'll open it up for you.
What do you open it up?
Bookie,
Yes.
I'd like you to just eat a wing live on the air because you have a neighbor, Commodore, that said this man eats wings like no other human on planet Earth. So I just want Bookie to eat wings and enjoy himself here as we have some of the best wings in all of Staten Island, if not New York City. So get rich quick scheme is bring Bookie to Florida and open a Chinese restaurant using his culinary expertise, which I feel is
He could cook.
quite
The
vast.
Bookie could cook. You know, remember he
Yes.
was in that mode. He was in that little mode for a while where he was putting up all of these recipes for cooking all
Yes.
kinds of
Yeah,
Chinese
yeah.
food
What do
for
you
a
think?
Chinese bookie, and everybody was like, "What's the matter with him? Is he out of his mind? He's putting up like mushu pork and kung pao hao fong and yu yo whatever. All of
Is
these
he being
foods."
offensive?
No,
No,
but New York style is the famous dishes in New York is the chicken chow mein.
Chicken chow mein,
It's only
fun.
popular in New York. But it's not popular in other states or other parts of the world. Chicken chow mein is a New York thing.
Let me tell you something.
It's full of shit.
What we got a shortage of good Chinese food down here in Central Florida. Bookie, you could come down here, partner up with my old neighbor up there, Poon. He always wanted to get into the Chinese food business. You and Poon could make a fortune, couldn't they, Danny? Tell him.
I'm not sure. Come to think of it, Commodore, you're suspended until further notice. Spring sports, bocce versus pickleball. Which one is going to provide more action?
Pickleball. I saw a pickleball tournament today between the Royal Highlands and another community up the road. I think it was Hawthorne, something like that. You had to see this, man. They got this together. We've got 4 courts here, and you have, 8 teams,
We
4
understand
and 4.
that
Listen, no, you don't understand. Listen, they all get on the court at the same time. One guy says go, he serves. Those 4 groups play until they're finished. Nobody opens the gate. Nobody could leave until those 4 games are over, and then they bring in another 4. I never saw it done like that before. It's almost like
I've seen
Thunderdome. It's like Thunderdome.
Commodore, I've seen Italian men at South Beach, Staten Island smoke cigars like there's a meteorite coming towards planet Earth. 2 in a row. I mean, large bats, and they are playing serious bocce to the point where...
No, they're not. We have bocce ball courts down here that they spend thousands of dollars to have them resurfaced. Annually, they have covers for them. They have synthetic courses. They take it real serious down here. I'm telling you, this is some serious stuff. They want me to go down and play pickleball. I told them I played pickleball once up at the Broadway Y. I'm not sure they want to put me on the court down here. Remember,
I would
Danny,
like to
what
see
happened to me
you
up
play
there?
bocce. It's out of your element. I'd like to see the Bookie
Bocce's
play
good.
pickleball.
I could get the Bookie strapped up with pickleball down here, no problem. And yeah, I could play bocce. I could do bocce.
Are you going to run your annual March Madness pool where people win and then they don't really win, they actually lose?
No,
you're not going to do that.
not this year. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
All right, just checking.
Tired.
And finally,
I'm so tired.
Finally, Commodore.
Yeah, baby.
Here in pop sports news, what makes the headlines nationally. We don't ever talk about professional anything, but what I'm about to talk to you about isn't really professional at all.
Why?
Mike Tyson, the grandfather, going out of boxing retirement to fight YouTube sensation Jake Paul. Is Mike Tyson going to murder this man? Or is all bullshit?
It's never going to happen. It's all bullshit. It's never going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Hey, did you hear? Listen to me. Here's big news.
grandpa.
Local news. Did you hear what happened to Teddy Atlas over in Saudi Arabia? He's working with the kids in the gym right before this big crossover fight out there with the sheiks and everything else. And Teddy, he's moving. He's going like this. He steps over something, goes down, tears his ACL and MCL in Saudi Arabia. Oh my goodness!
They have amazing hospitals over there, though, right?
They probably do. I'm worried somebody's going to get their head chopped off for this.
Well, that is
Saudi Arabia.
That's why you got to take the Commodore right out of the screen, right? He knows exactly what he's done. Bookie, you've been pounding wings since you got here.
Yes. Oh, this is one of the best wings so far I ever had.
Ralph is pissed at you. For your review, the last time you were here, you gave him a review, and you didn't give him a higher score at the time. I think you said Bayou was higher. The Commodore's in timeout for anybody wondering at home. Follow him on Instagram at Nobody Cares Commodore,
Send
and then
all the
evaluate your
to the
life.
Commodore.
Yeah, absolutely. He just gets so crazy. But yeah, Ralph is pissed off at you because you gave.
No wonder.
And
Ralph,
he's got a
as
grudge.
soon as he saw me, he said, "I remember you."
He's got a grudge. Yeah, he's super pissed off.
But anyway,
what do you think of the Winks tonight?
oh, excellent wings. Spiciness, if you like hot spicy, this is the place to come.
Absolutely, it's the place to come. It's the first night of dart season here as well. Full house.
No
Tuesday
wonder.
night, usually we come into a bar. I was going to bring the Commodore back in, but he's like nowhere to be found.
Maybe it's
Maybe he got snatched by a crocodile.
He went
Alligator?
alligator hunting.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
I normally when we do shows on a Tuesday night, we do it because the bar is empty, the restaurant's empty. You know, they need a little kick in the ass. It
Well,
helps
it's
with good
not
advertising,
empty.
right?
It's the typical.
Well, it's your typical Tuesday.
One of
A little
the
slow.
years, one of the slow night for in general for the bars, restaurant business.
Right.
Because
And-
it's early of the week, it's not middle of the week kind of things. It's not towards weekend.
we're only showing 2 dartboards behind us, and only a part of the place. There's like 50 people in here.
But the
My
bar-
social
but
anxiety
this-
is terrible.
But this bar is packed, man.
Yeah, I know.
Look at the 2 bartenders.
I'm gonna
They're
bring-
constantly busy.
I'm gonna bring the Commodore back here. It's like a hurricane with no warning.
Oh yes.
So anyhow, as I was saying,
Commodore,
Sabrina Krager.
are you on
Sabrina
fire?
Krager.
Yeah.
There's
you
a
on
fire
fire?
behind me. I'm always on fire, Cannon. Mr. Bookie.
Okay.
Bookie, I want to place an order. I want to pick up.
No, he hasn't opened the restaurant yet. You're a moron. What do you want to say
No,
about
listen.
No.
Here's what I want to say. Seriously, on a serious note, I want to congratulate Sabrina Krager on the winner of the 2023 Joan Gum Award. That's a big thing. It's near and dear to the Commodore's heart. Got to be a special student athlete, special player to do that.
Right.
Her mom, by the way, I just
Melissa.
want to I think her mom, but yeah, Melissa, Honeybee mom, big
Yeah, yeah.
time runner on Staten Island. Shout out
Massive
from the
run.
Commodore. Congratulations to you. You raised a beautiful daughter there. All the best. And I just want to say on the winners, for the first team All-Stars, second team All-Stars, and then the players to follow. That's just tremendous stuff. And you mentioned some names of some kids over here that had some good years. Like you mentioned Jackson and Martin. They were tough. You got a 2 times Jake's Award winner here for the boys. But I'm trying to think back, Danny. I lost a lot of stuff in the relocation to Florida. But
Well, the
I
last
remember
2
some
time
guys
Jake's
like
award winner was his brother.
Okay, and prior to that, when you go back, Kyle McInerney might have had a pair of those. Another guy named John Semerod out of Monsignor Farrell, who they're going to hang you when they get you. And another fella named Kenny. Wait a minute. Here's another kid, Kenny Page out of McKee.
Sure.
Ooh, he was a great ball player, too. So he's not the first. They're
No, he's
not the last.
but
But
it won't be the last.
he's not the first. He's not the last. But it's no easy task to win 2 in a row.
Bookie's just been crushing wins the whole time. It's a great night here.
Man,
at
I'll tell you
Commodore.
something. I want you to
Absolutely.
come down here and have wings. Come down
You
here.
will,
The Crown and Shield right here. It's got the Monarch. They have the best wings you've ever had in Florida.
The Wagner Seahawks
Telling
are
you.
up 48-43 over Merrimack. 2:28 remaining in the second half. They have a 5-point lead.
This
as
is
they have
the
been flirting with
semifinal?
the victory. Yeah, this is the final. If they win, they're going to the dance, Bookie.
Oh, this is the final.
Get your
tonight.
W's up.
Good.
That's right.
Go Falcon.
Go Seahawks, you
Seahawks.
moron. All right.
Well, it's part
What
of the
an
family,
idiot.
okay?
Oh,
Commodore.
man, he's
Yes,
terrible.
Seahawks,
Yeah.
Falcons, Eagles, you name it. It's an air
No,
squad.
listen to me. Bookie, you got to get this right. They're right up the street. They're up on the hill. This is the Wagner Seahawks we're talking about going up here. Who's still the head coach up there? Is what's his name? Calla, whatever his name.
No, you
Nobody
don't know. You're
cares.
done. Nobody
Calibrate.
cares. Commodore,
Como
say
se
your
llama?
goodnight.
Don't cut me off again. Good night.
Oh, you're done. All right.
No,
great.
seriously. Good night.
Adios.
No.
It was a great
Let me say good night. Let me say good night, everybody.
Yeah, go
Again,
ahead.
I just
Tight-
want to
tight
congratulate
chin,
all the
Commodore.
student athletes, all of the coaches, all of the parents and their friends that made them who they are to get selected today. It's a great thing to put on your resume. I made the Nobody Cares All-Star
I mean,
team.
the
I'm
Nobody
out of
Cares
here.
All-
I'll talk
Yeah.
to you in
Print
Florida.
that out and throw it in a fire if you get cold.
Tai Jen, Commodore,
Yeah.
Tai Jen.
Here you go, right here, right in the fire. Look, there you
Great
go.
stuff, Commodore.
See you
Great
later.
stuff.
Say
Yeah,
goodnight,
more.
Commodore.
Good night, Commodore.
Weirdo. Great stuff. Great stuff. Don't get eaten by a gator. Bookie, who do you like? Jake Paul, Mike Tyson?
Who's Mike Tyson?
Great. It's been a fantastic show here. Ralph's Sports Bar is filling up, which is odd because it's a Tuesday night at 8:30. It was a great show. We've got
we really
32 winners for
really thank you, Ralph
All-Stars,
Stars, for letting us have host the shows here tonight.
Thank you.
Great place to be. If you feel like nothing to do on the weeknights, come down.
Come on down.
Ralph's. Yes, come on
Food's
down.
fantastic. The environment's great. As you can tell, they have darts, pizza, full kitchen, all sorts of that good stuff. I'm going to leave you with one of the funniest movie clips of all time regarding boxing, since we've been talking about it a bit this evening. Bookie, you got anything you want to say before
This show is powered by
this show is powered by Main Street Coffee.
Main Street Coffee.
That's right. Tune in next week, everybody. Tuesday at 7:30. More guest and location to be announced. Listen to this show
it's a
on
secret
Spotify.
location. It could be the Bookie's trunk.
Yeah. By the way, you definitely need to go in the trunk soon. Friday, you're working a camera.
Friday working. Bookie will be a cameraman.
That's right. Well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, no religion, no politics, just feel good local sports.
Nobody cares.
You see it, mister.
You must be out of your goddamn mind. Joe Louis, the greatest boxer ever lived. I'll be with you boys in a minute. He was bad in Captain Clay. He bad in Sugar Ray. He bad in that. Who that? The new boy they got. Mike Tyson look like a bulldog. He bad at him too. He done whipped Mike Tyson there. He whipped all their asses.
What about Rocky Marciano?
Oh, there they go. There they go. Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got to pull Rocky Marciano out their ass. That's they one. That's they one. Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano. Let me tell you something wonderful. Rocky Marciano was good, but compared to Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano ain't shit.
He beat Joe Louis's ass.
That's right, he did whoop Joe Louis' ass. Joe Louis was 75 years old when they fought. I don't know how old he was, but he got his ass whooped. Joe Louis had come out of retirement to fight Rocky Marciano. The man was 76 years old. Joe Louis always lied about his age. He lied about his age all the time. One time, Frank Sinatra comes out here and sat down in this chair. And I said, Frank, you hang out with Joe Louis. Just between me and you, how old is Joe Louis? You know what Frank told me? He said, hey, Joe Louis is 137 years old. 137 years old.
Oh, man, you ain't never meet no Frank Sinatra.